What's up? Welcome back to His View, Her View, or Conversations with the Chinese. Still haven't decided yet, but for now it's His View, Her View. And we are going to be chatting today. Well, actually, let me introduce myself just in case you're new to the channel. Um, my name is Nia, and this is my co-host and husband,
Cedric.
And so this week's conversation is going to be a review of some very bingeable shows. As the weather is getting a little colder and you have you're spending a lot more time in the house. Everyone's spending a lot more time in the house. I mean, it's still kind of warm in October, but that's just with global warming. That's a whole nother conversation. We have been watching some amazing shows, and we wanted to do a live finale chat about Fight Night. I keep wanting to call it Friday Night Lights or something like that,
Yeah.
but it's Fight Night. And that was a really great show. So that's one of the shows we're going to be reviewing, and we feel as though it's bingeable. So basically, this chat is going to be reviewing and discussing bingeable shows for the upcoming fall and winter season because now all the episodes have aired, and I know some people like to wait until all the episodes have aired before watching a show, just because it can be annoying having to wait, the anticipation of waiting for the next show. So we're going to be reviewing Fight Night and Power. What was the full title? Because it's the Tyreek spinoff.
Well, Power Book 2 or Ghost.
Power Book 2 Ghost. So which one did you want to jump into first?
We could talk about the Fight Night first, because I mean that seemed like something that need a little bit more attention. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it as much as I would think this like out and about per se in my actual everyday dealings. So I would think that Fight Night is a great show to get into, especially because one that has so many top line actors, top notch actors that you could really be like, man, in almost every scene, you're gonna be captivated by somebody's performance. Like Terrence Howard was in it, Taraji P Henson was in it, Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson.
Big
Um,
stars.
just to see, and a few other people I can't like really remember off to the top.
Not Haley. What's the other one of the sisters that sings? I forget her name. Not Haley, but Haley Bailey's sister. She's known. They're known for being under the Rock Nation thing. It was somebody else too.
But either way, they did a phenomenal job, like bringing in like that core cast members and also adding in like some fresh faces and also giving you like a story of like a historic time.
Yes, I love the historic. It's based on a true story. That's what I thought you was first going to say because you went and watched the.
Yeah, I watched the documentary about the guy and just the event of the robbery that they're highlighting or whatever, which you could do for yourself, or you could just take in the show and just know that
This
it's
is based
information
on
out
true
here.
events.
Yeah, so
I think it says that. It does say that on the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
The thing that was good about it too was like the cast members was talking. I listened to like Kevin Hart do an interview talking about how Samuel L. Jackson was actually living during those periods, you know what I mean, in Atlanta and doing different things. Like, Samuel L. Jackson was a real one during those times. Like, he was actually locking NAACP members up, you know what I mean, in the town hall and, didn't let them leave. Remember he did
He
that?
was
Yeah,
Samuel Jackson.
yeah. Like Martin Luther King and them type people. Like, he had locked them up on campus. Like, you gotta go in and look in, like, the research and stuff like that. But
Oh
Samuel L.
wow.
Jackson was, like, a person who was, like, trying to be an activist at the time in his life as well. So
Or
from
was
that,
an activist because I mean,
I mean, you could say trying to be, you know what I mean? Like, he did some activism, but I mean, that she was a full out, like, whatever. But I'm not taking away from Samuel L. Jackson and whatever
yeah,
he
because
did as far
I
as
hope that
politically.
yeah, I hope that looking back, I can show points where I tried to get more politically
But that's
active.
why I said try. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's one thing. There's nothing wrong with trying. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's another thing for you to take your whole life in a whole nother direction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think we'll have to uncover like Samuel Jackson's life to see things that he probably did politically activated in his beginning times of his career, pre to his career, that we know him as the great actor that he is. But I thought it was pretty cool to see how they tied things together.
I'm looking up the cast, and it's so hard. They only have the major stars listed when you really look it up. Don Cheadle, you already said that.
No, I didn't say Don Cheadle.
Okay.
Just Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle had a great role.
He had a great role. I love them showing the. Okay, so first of all, let's mention this is on Peacock, which I honestly like Peacock. It's a streaming service, NBC streaming service, and this is a great original series for it, honestly. So Don Cheadle, his character was one of the main characters, and we can go by character too, because I do like touching on the fact that this is historic. And at the end, they actually show a picture of the real people. You know what I'm saying? And I love stuff like that because we as Black people, as African Americans, I think a lot of times that whole Black girl magic, or magical thing that's always put around us, like it makes it like almost like all the greats that are associated with us either have passed away, were martyred, or seem unbelievable, like you almost can't touch, like you can't find yourself in them. And that's why I love the fact that Don Cheadle's character and Kevin Hart's character are two complex men in real life, and it shows, their character shows and all that. And the fact that him being a police officer, Don Cheadle, and but still having to come to grips with the fact that his community doesn't trust him, especially during that time, because it's like very rare for there to be a Black police officer, so they automatically think you are Uncle Tom.
Right, but as you say, I want to get too far into the story, but it's like if you go through, you'll see the growth of the
The
character
complexity, yeah.
of Don Cheadle's perspective as it grew to actually help him get reconnected to his community. Because at one point, I felt as like that was kind of like showing like, yeah, he cared and stuff like that, but he was still somewhat disconnected. Because it's like when you are a person who is a pioneer in such a field, like being a police officer and stuff like that, initially you might go in with a mind state that you want to do things a certain kind of way, but now all of a sudden you start realizing how little power that you have in a circumstance or situation, and
Yes.
how little reach that you got, and the things that you do have to do to move forward, and the things that people don't understand is why you're doing what you're doing. So all of a sudden it start creating, I can imagine, a different kind of complexity within yourself, and then trying to connect with your community. You know what I mean? So I think like the fight night is what kind of got Don Cheadle to kind of like
Forced him
to
to
connect back to
see the other perspective. I really do think, because I feel like even in the beginning, I feel like it showed him
as a family man, a Black man who was a
not,
family man and proud and stuff like that.
yeah, and not only that, but also fighting for his community. But they didn't see or know that, because, like you
That's why he
said,
was
he didn't
articulate.
have. I know, but you were saying how he kind of was disconnected. But
Yeah.
I don't feel. This is just my opinion. I don't feel like he was really disconnected, only because he was trying to, as you said, from the inside, and he saw how little power he has. So it's like, I feel like that happens with a lot of Black people, whether it be corporate world or whatever. Um, you think you can fight from the inside, like, oh, I'm gonna infiltrate from the inside, and, then you find out how little power you have. But I think it showed that maybe his community didn't see how connected he was to them, and how he was trying to fight for them from the inside. Because even his wife was trying to be like, "What, you going to do something about this?" And it's like, I don't even know how to voice that I am trying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was so much. And of course, there were points where his community felt like he was attacking them. You got to watch the show to see, with him and Kevin Hart. But it'd be like, kind of like how the Kamala Harris thing is like, well, if you are doing something that could harm the community, I can't just overlook it because you're Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
But
can't
that's
do
what I
that.
just said. Like that's basically what I say. You further articulating what I agree with.
Okay, yeah, because I don't feel like he was disconnected from his community. I do feel like he was
But you
connected.
just to me, you just explained disconnection. You know what I'm saying? Like you just said, like
That's what I'm saying. That's your view, that you feel like that's showing he's disconnected. Whereas for me, that helped. That showed his connection to me. The fact that his community wasn't seeing what he was doing, but he was working from the inside and doing as much as he could. But his community just saw him in a police uniform standing next to a racist white police officer. So it's like, if that's what people see, that's how they are depicting you. Like, you
I'm just
are the
going
company
also,
you
like I
keep.
said, I don't want to give too much of the show. I do want people to go through and look for themselves. But I would like to, the part, like I said, where he wasn't really understanding Muhammad Ali at one point. He called Muhammad Ali Clay. You know what I mean? So that shows a disconnect. You know what I
That
mean?
does, that does, and that's what I'm saying. It's good that you're pointing out these things. And I don't think it's wrong for us to
No,
discuss.
I did not say it's wrong. I'm just saying,
I
like,
know. I
well, I
was
was just
saying,
like you made your point further. I was just further making my
no.
point
I
where I
think
felt
that's
like it
good.
was a disconnect.
I agree. I agree. That's good that you're further pointing out things because this is. Well, I don't feel like we're doing y'all disservice by pointing out things in the show if you haven't seen it yet. I feel like this is something that now because the show's already fully every episode is out.
Yeah, ain't like
You
ain't
know,
nobody blowing up the
yeah, and it's been out for a while. The last episode came on what
like
last week,
two
two
two weeks
weeks
ago.
ago. Yeah, so I feel like we are free to discuss moments that are like pivotal moments because that is true. That is a point where you can point out the fact that okay, that's where he was disconnected because he didn't see how being a I'm gonna say rebel because I can't think of a different word for people that were on the extreme side of the Black Power movement. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I say extreme, I would be on that. I would have been on that side too if I was born back then or alive back then. But
It's like the loud side. It's almost like if I could compare it to now, like people don't
mm,
like Floyd Mayweather or didn't like Floyd Mayweather when he was at his height because of the way he quote unquote boasted. But if you actually was a person who actually could read through character and read that he's projecting for money, you would see that
mm,
Floyd Mayweather was a proud black man that everybody that's black should be proud to see that, yeah, this is a black man who can actually say, I'm the best and I'm going to go out
mm-hmm.
here and do what I'm going to do and I'm the best to ever do it. And, that's kind of how Muhammad Ali was now. Mayweather wasn't in a racially, climate,
That
whereas
extreme.
exactly.
But I
So it's
do
like,
feel like there is still the racism
right,
aspect of
what I
this
mean?
black man with all this money when it comes to
Yeah,
Floyd Mayweather.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like he shouldn't be, boasting. So it's like you still got black people who think that you should just tuck tail and be modest and stuff like that. Where it's like Muhammad Ali during that time was like, I'm black, I'm beautiful, I want to be seen for my blackness. Whereas it's like other people were trying to more so probably think that being I wouldn't even call it docile, but being more reserved was
Mm.
going to protect their blackness over outside of like you drawing
Or
attention
protect the
to us.
community
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
exactly. So it's just like,
Because there
I
was actual physical danger
right,
at this
exactly.
point.
So it's
Yeah.
like that's the thing where I felt like with Hudson, what I'm saying, Don Cheadle's character, where he probably was at first like, yeah, I'm a proud black man myself, but I don't feel as though it's necessary to get more people hating us from being so outward. You know what I mean? So I think that, you
And
know,
and also to make that point, that reminds me why another reason why the cop might Don Cheadle Hudson, his character's name would have been upset at Muhammad Ali
yeah,
or
that's the point I was making.
because he went to war, even though
Yeah,
he said he didn't go, but he didn't. They felt that was another thing back in the day. They felt like he was a dodge,
draft dodger or
draft dodger. Yeah,
yeah, ducking service or whatever. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? But it's like as we were saying, like you see the transition of like he's saying like, okay, it's bigger than that. Like it's a bigger fight
Chloe.
that's gonna go on no matter what. You know what I mean? Like no matter what you serve, no matter what you try to prove, it's always gonna be somebody who try to say you less than that. And I think like, he started seeing that because he was like, he was the security guard for Muhammad Ali during that time when he had the fight, and he started noticing that people are sitting up there hating Muhammad Ali for no reason other than that he was black. So all of a sudden, it started making him go back to I got to choose mine and boldly profess that too. So all of a sudden, when you start seeing Muhammad Ali winning, you start seeing that he start finding pride where he initially was like, I don't really even like this guy. You know what I mean? So,
The beautiful part about that, oh my gosh, when at the end, not at the end of the show, but at the end of the fight, where he was talking to the other black police officer, because there was only two of them, and he was of seniority. He was telling him, when I was younger, I didn't understand my parents being so emotional, but quietly emotional when we would beat our neighboring white basketball team. And he was like, I get that moment now. I think that was a moment
yeah.
where it was like, it just like as you get older, you understand your parents a lot more because you understand that as much as you want to lash out, you realize like I have people dependent on me, reliant on me. I can't just
Like you said, the climate at the time. Like you
yeah.
said, like, to be able to, like how you said, you got to outwardly cheer for a black man and see a
Mhm.
black man win and be proud. You know what I'm saying? It made him
Mhm.
go back to his earliest moments. You know what I'm saying? To where, like you said, he had a
Beautiful.
reflection. It was just like you said, like, what we was just saying, like, that's where he had broke out of we have to be reserved to protect ourselves. Like, why do
Mhm.
that? You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you might think that you're doing yourself a service, you know what I'm saying, by being reserved in your pride, you know what I'm saying? But then you also do a greater service when you project pride. You know what I'm saying? So I just
Mhm.
think that it is a great blend of showing different
Mhm.
personalities and like also showing the fact that yeah, it was a black casted show, but it's not a black
Mhm.
movie, and no matter what goes on in life, nobody is a monolith. Like it was
Mhm.
several different dynamics and
Yeah,
characteristics
because
that
there were white
came
police
together.
officers that were not like how that one racist cop was.
Right.
You know, they were there to do their job. They weren't trying to abuse their power. So that was beautiful. I really do feel like, you know, him and the Muhammad Ali character, him and Kevin Hart character, it showed how like we are all fighting for the same thing. And I think
I
life
feel like
is like,
that. I think like the whole cast when you think about that, James.
oh
I was
yes,
just thinking
because
about
even
like
Samuel L. Jackson character.
yeah,
Let me tell you something
like
about
Samuel L.
Samuel L.
Jackson
Jackson.
character, and then even like you said, the dynamic between his character and
Tom,
Terrence Howard
oh,
character.
Terrence Howard and
And
Taraji.
yeah,
Um, Samuel Jackson is such an amazing actor. You literally forget this man is who he is when he's in character. And I mean, all these people were great actors. And the actor I was talking about earlier, Chloe Bailey, that's who's on there too. But and there was someone from that.
from Power, the guy who played I keep forgetting his name, but he's a good actor. The guy who played the robber, like he played what's the name
I
too
know
from Soul Train. He played Don.
he was Tasha's love interest, 50 Cent's son in Power. I'm gonna put up a picture. Also, someone from that one show that was in LA, the drug show. It was a light
Yeah,
skinned guy. I'm gonna put up his picture. All of these. This was some
Snowfall, the guy
great.
from Snowfall.
Yeah, Snowfall.
And it's
This.
like that's one guy I want to highlight. I like his acting and his style because
Mm,
it's like even the way pause. You gotta say that. You know what I'm saying? But the way he moved on his character, you could see him. I could see him before even seeing it. Like when he had the mask on, I knew who he was. Like
I
you know, it's
didn't.
like
Yeah, yeah,
I
you
was like,
did.
the dude got a strong presence. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think that he could definitely be one of our greats. You know
Yes,
what I'm
that's what
saying
I
to
was gonna
come.
say. This is Black Hollywood, old and new, and it was just really
Yeah.
beautiful. Like this is if you haven't seen the show, you got to see the show.
But just to
Um,
go back to like some of the dynamics of like I said, just black people not being a monolith in the show. Like even with the robbers, it was different dynamics. Like
mhm.
we're gonna like you said, put up. I mean, if you
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
time
I'm
to
gonna
do
put up
that,
the
put up the
pictures.
different faces or whatever. But
Hmm.
the dynamic between
The
the
worst one,
robbers, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like the let's use the mentee,
yeah,
you know what I mean? The rebel, the
yeah.
cowboy, and
The
then
one just doing it, trying to just get out
yeah,
because he wanted to
but
be
the
with his
one
family.
guy who was like the one trying to do it for his family, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about like the other guy, the light skinned guy who was like wild. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? This
The
is
yeah,
like the
he was
rebel, you
a
know what I'm saying?
true.
Like
You want to talk about somebody who's like,
strong characteristics. You know what I mean? Like that
whoo!
dude was like all the way
He
down
was
to the end.
extreme.
Yeah, he was, but all of a sudden it was like even with his character being so extreme and seeming like just the ultimate bad guy the whole time, at
He had
one
a
point he
heart.
had a heart. You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
just like certain stuff you seen that even though we all bad guys, but we not all shit bags. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
It shows. That's another thing I loved about it. It showed the complexity of humans. Like no matter who you are, everyone has these dynamics in them, and it really just whatever win is winning at that time, whatever wolf you're feeding, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, but like you said, with the bad guys, with Samuel Jackson, the fact that he and Don Cheadle, they was like battling and then they was working together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It was like it was showing like you're gonna have to work with, and I'm not saying this, and I feel like this is kind of life because the fact that it's made from true life, it really is. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you may have to. It's like chess. You may have to work within an environment that you feel like, oh, you're above.
yeah. Like even the guy who was the mayor, like
Yes.
that guy, he's been around for a while, but it's like crazy to see him play like a older role. And,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm
Especially
saying?
because he still looks
He
young.
still look young,
Yeah,
but it's like you still see like
I can
this
see him in
the
that
elder
character.
statesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like to me that was just super cool to see that role for him. You know what I mean? And like you said, to be able to see, like you said, the dynamic of like life. Like at the end of the day, nobody, no human, no community is one thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So at the end of the day, for certain things to get pushed forward, like you got to move a certain kind of way. Like he didn't think, like Samuel L. Jackson character didn't think that the brother we talking about that played that mayor, that he didn't think that he was hip to what he was doing.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It
Mm.
was
He
just like
didn't. Yep.
he was, but he was just
Yep.
like, yeah, I play. I'm still be the senator. I'm still do whatever it is I'm doing, but I know what you do, and I still
Mm.
see like You think I'm gonna give you that? It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna make no, we can't do that. And it was like it was more of a brother to brother understanding. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I can understand it from another black man to another black man. I can see why you wouldn't do
But
that. You know
also
what I
know
mean?
that who you are working with is the same as me. They just
Yeah,
white.
yeah,
That was the only
exactly.
difference. You know what I'm saying? Politicians are just as,
Greasy as anybody
yes,
else,
as
if
any
not
bad
more.
guy, as any gangster, you know? And I think that's the beauty of, I think showing that it's going to help more people that see this and more shows that show this. It helps people realize like nobody's perfect. So stop expecting this perfection out of people, because even those great people that are coming off like I'm a little do-gooder, like no, they may have done something in their past too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they get to where they end up being seen clean. Like they might have been fighting their whole life to try to get the perception that you giving them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
And also, I love the fact that it was like a boys' club. They was running things, and Taraji character finally
found a
realized
way to move in.
I can't keep sitting back waiting for permission from these men. You know, when I know I got good ideas.
Yeah,
You know what
then
I'm saying?
she found a way to forge enterprise.
Yes, and to be a part of something big, like I love that, because I think a lot of women do be kind of like putting themselves to the back burner, like okay, I just gotta wait my turn. I gotta wait until that he says it's okay or something like that, and then you realize like I got these ideas. Let me just step in because they, you know what I'm saying,
They'll probably
like
move a little faster.
yeah, get things straightened out or whatever. I love Taraji's character very much.
She,
Taraji, like
yeah, she
yeah.
was very like savvy. You know what I'm saying? Like very loyal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Very like you said, witty and smart.
Street
Like
savvy, bringing in the knowledge that was needed to finalize, put the
yeah.
dots and cross the T's, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like Taraji, man. That's one thing I love about her characters that she portrays. Like she gonna make you in like she's endearing. Like she, you
Endearing.
know what
I
I'm
was thinking the
saying?
same
Like
word. I was
it's
thinking
like no matter what, you rooting for her.
you
You know what I
are rooting
mean?
for
So
her.
like she could
Yes.
pull you in. You know, so I'm
Yeah.
like, she was the character that I was happy to see have the ending that they
Yes.
had for her. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And all of the characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like you wasn't
I was
surprised.
I was sad at some of the,
In the
but
beginning,
that's
some of it was sad, but it was just like
even at the end with the boy and and
I mean, at the end of
the
the
one
day,
that
it's like
Tasha, not what I'm saying, I don't know his character's name, but that was trying to get
yeah,
out for
but
his
I
man.
didn't feel bad for that only simply because it's like outside of it being a character, the one thing I always try to keep in mind, and I got this from John Singleton. Like John Singleton always said that the purpose is not for you to dislike a person, but you still, as a person looking at the actions, have to see that you're making horrible decisions.
Oh yeah, and
Like
also
even
because
before this robbery, they was doing
yeah, but he was
bad
trying to
stuff.
get out.
I'm not saying that you're not trying to get out,
Yeah.
but it's better ways.
Yeah,
You
and
know what
that's
I
once
mean?
again where it comes to a fork in the road, like how we discussed in our last podcast episode, where you have a choice and you have to be very careful when you reach that fork in the road, where an old friend might come and be like, "Oh, I got this opportunity,"
Right.
and you realize, okay, I've been trying to do the right thing this far. This could get me out quicker, or I can just stay the path. You know what I'm saying? And
You
it's
know, it's like
like,
so everything to me just all boiled down to perceptions. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just feel like the most thing that's poisoned about the humanistic society in general is just the fact that we allow outside things, media control how you feel about within yourself. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like certain things are not righteously okay disenfranchisement. You know what I'm saying? But once you start doing stuff where it's beyond the call of duty because you feel a way about the things that you might not have and you see somebody else got, that's where it all really the poison. Once you let that poison get in your mind, is I think is when it start driving you to do the
I think
extreme wrong of things.
I think for him though, it wasn't even so much him looking around. It was him wanting to have stability to be able to see his child.
But I wasn't talking
And
about Don. She was her. I mean,
no,
they got
yeah,
Sean or whatever.
yeah,
But I'm talking about like I said, like you said, you felt bad for the kids and stuff like that. Like I said, end of
yeah.
the day, like people made choices because they wanted more and stuff
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm
that. So
saying.
like you
But
want
I'm
to
talking
be,
about Sean, the Sean guy. That's not his name in there,
but
but
he was robbing and stuff like that before they did that
yeah,
though.
and he was trying to get out. He literally said, "Nah, man, I'm trying to get out." Like literally, he said that. And then the guy was walking to the thing. He looked at the picture of his child, the little teddy bear. And he had just went to go see his, I guess, ex-wife, baby mama, and she was like, "Once you have a place to live, that I can feel comfortable." So I understood where it's like you want what you want, and the situation you're in at that time is not permitting you to live a life. That's why I felt bad for him, because it's like sometimes it be your circumstances that might push you to go the wrong route, but it's like you have to recognize like, okay, I say this to say this is off the movie a little bit. stick the course because God will get you there. It might not be pretty, but just stick the course. You know, God will take that next step for you. Because the fact that his friend, he didn't know what he was getting into. And for him, not fully. He knew he was robbing people, but he didn't realize who he was robbing or how
Yeah, and
deep.
that's why you don't go into robbing.
You
There's nothing
don't.
good about robbing.
You
You know
don't.
what I mean? So if you're going into something thinking, I'm about to get something good because I'm doing something
I'm
wrong.
about to do a quick lick and just be over it. Like, it's
never
not going.
works like that.
And then, okay, so now Kevin Hart's character. Kevin Hart was basically like the main character. And like I said, this is based on a true story, which I think is beautiful because it genuinely shows how it's like, dang, these people they lived a life. His character started off as one person, a literally what you would think is a one-dimensional, self-absorbed person. You know what I'm saying? And for him to morph to, spoiler alert, a pastor by the end,
You could have seen that. You know
it was like, look at God giving people second chances. Like when I
Because it
tell
was like
you,
his whole dynamic, though. It was like how you said his father was his wife's father. Somebody was a
oh
priest
yeah,
or
his
something like
wife's
that.
father
Like,
was, yeah.
and he was like,
He wanted that, but he didn't know how to just accept this is who I want to be.
yeah. But I didn't say he necessarily didn't want it, but like how he was saying, like he had to always work hard. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you had like a certain level of education, he was just always like willing and dealing, always had like the gift of gab. Like, his character was a person who was like the silver lining to everything. Like he was able to get the shit quicker, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times because he was a people person. He knew people. He showed Hudson how to read people better.
He
You know
said
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
show, I collect people.
Yeah. But he was showing, like I said, showing him like this how you get this. You know what I mean? Like you trying to do everything within the lines and I'm reading between the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the one scene that was like powerful to me, like when they went there, when they were spying on the robbers, they was at the gas station. Then a white dude wasn't giving Hudson the information, even though he came in there and basically saved his life or whatever. He still wasn't giving the information. All of a sudden, Kevin Hart just pulled it out the bag like, man, fuck that. I smell this, that, and the third, and I know this, and all of a sudden he got what they needed.
What is it called? Where you're someone who's just like very aware of their surroundings. You know what I'm saying?
Savvy, you know
Perceptive.
like,
He's very savvy, perceptive. Like this is a survivor. That's what he reminds. Like he gonna survive wherever he goes. And I feel like when he said, "I collect people," I immediately when he said that in the beginning before he turned, we knew he turned his life around. I thought of the Bible verse where it said, "I'm gonna make you a fisher of men."
Yeah.
And I was like, that the beauty of that is just so like enlightening to see. Like he just needed, I feel like, the positive impact of someone else. Like, and I think Hudson was that positive impact to show like you don't have to be bad. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
you
wouldn't
can
even
know
say that. I
different.
think that's circumstance. You know what I
The
mean?
whole circumstance.
I
Oh,
think
and
like
Samuel Jackson's character putting him in the position to be like, you don't even want this life. This is not. You see how you got us robbed? You are not for this life because otherwise you would have known you were getting got.
Yeah, it was just like he said. Like I felt like for what he ultimately became, that you have to go through something to actually connect with people. So it's like I feel like he was already the character of I'm charismatic. I know how to talk to people. I actually do care about my community. He was all of that. You know what I'm saying? But it was like
and I know my community too.
Right, but at the time when you try, like I say, you're trying to be a person who survived, and once again, another person affected by what you see on the outward. You want to be a person who is ultimately people want to be cool, no matter what people say. You want to at some point, everybody's not in that frame of I want to be looked at as the cool person, but
maybe not cool. I mean? Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like you don't want to be at the bottom of the totem.
You don't want to be a scraper. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be looked at as the big man,
the big fish.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
with other big fish. That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah. So it's just like I think that a lot of his moves, you know what I'm saying, was like how he already had in his spirit. Like I'm trying to be a person who collect people, but didn't realize that like how it ended up turning out. Like I can do this in a positive, I can do this in a positive way and still have the same respect that I'm looking to have
in the
for my
same
community.
in the same impact. Because I think there's another thing he mentioned to Samuel Jackson. He was like, I see big things for Atlanta. I want to do such and such. And I think that was so beautiful because it's like he was able to have an impact on Atlanta in the way that he didn't envision at first. And that's the cool thing about God. You'll know you're meant for greatness and you be thinking it's something way, but it's like God got a whole different, bigger plan for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he wanted to impact his community, and it's like you can, but why go about this route? This ain't the route for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's probably another thing why it went the way it went. You know what I mean? Like it probably was because this is what just came to my thought just now, but because Kevin Hart was the person who was going to be a person who was going to bring people closer to God. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that is why everybody ended up getting killed and ended up going bad, because say it had went good and he got everything he wanted, he probably would have been a lowlife.
Yeah, he would have been part of the Black Mafia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was basically what it was about, the Black Mafia.
Yeah. He just
back
wanted
in the
to,
day.
like how you said, I just want to be the man here. Like, I don't want to leave nowhere, nothing like that. I just want to have this pocket. I got this pocket for you. That was his thing. Like, I don't know what I can do, but I know I can do it for you.
Yeah.
You know
and it's like, instead of trying to work through man, work with God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and the Terrence Howard and Samuel Jackson dynamic, and how I always knew that.
Real quick, like, who was that lady who played that was Debbie Allen?
No, that wasn't Debbie. The light skinned girl?
No, the lady who played
Terrence Howard's mother? That was Debbie Allen.
She killed that shit.
She did kill it. Debbie Allen, okay, I see you, girl. Yeah, that was true. That was good, because it was like, it showed how there's so many invisible players in a game, and then but Samuel Jackson, what I was going to say to that was, Samuel Jackson, I think, always was aware. I can't really trust you, because he was like, just like your father didn't know, but your mother got him killed and all that.
But that was
stuff.
at the end, once he realized he was like playing the other side. You know
but I think he always kind of had a feeling that he was playing. I think he had a feeling, but he couldn't. He had to wait for all the. That's how you know that person is meant to be at the top. Yeah, because it's like, I'm not reacting to things. I'm letting things play out. Even when they was locked in the basement, he was like, don't you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, let's see how things are moving. And before we make moves.
Yeah, because he was free early.
Yes.
He was like watching everything happen.
Yes. Like,
why what's the name was dancing?
I feel like, honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I feel like this is damn near like a Godfather.
Yeah.
Because the Godfather, it's little gems sprinkled in, where it's like, don't be so quick to move. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so quick to react.
Yeah.
Sometimes let's see, so you know who are all these players, because you might think this player is on your side and they not.
And they really not.
Yeah. So it's like, you gotta let things play out, and then plan your move, and then execute your move. So that was a beautiful.
And that, like you said, everybody would have did that from the beginning.
Yes.
It would have been different, even with the robbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the one young guy realized what was happening.
Too late.
And he was just like,
he was trying to tell his sister,
you know, I don't think I realized what we got down there. And that one dude didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? The wild dude. And clearly, like I said, because
the wild dude knew. Right. That's what it was. And it was like, once he told the dude from Power, and then he started connecting the dots. Then it was like, he realized, I'm in too deep at this point. Now I just have to get out, you know.
Trying to make it.
Yeah. And that was just like, it was just a very good show.
Yeah.
You should see it. I will put it in the same bracket as Godfather, honestly, which is funny, because they're Black Mafia. And you should probably look more into the real life story, because I know Cedric watched the real life story documentary on YouTube.
Yeah, it was like a rough one. It wasn't like one of them professional documentaries, but you can find documentaries on any information that you want to see. You know what I mean? I think it was some New Jersey Italian type guy who be doing a whole lot of different crime things. I'll be watching a lot of his stuff, whatever. I don't know his name, but yeah, that's why I seen the documentary.
I feel like it's beautiful to have more of our Black stories told from back in the day, because we don't really get that.
They out there.
Like BMF is now being told.
But that's been out there.
That's been out there. I wasn't, I'm Bougetto. I'm first generation out of the ghetto. So it was like, my family,
I'm one step removed from the hood too. My parents grew up that way, and but still, it don't necessarily take away from the intrigue of, like,
not even the intrigue, but that we should know this knowledge. And your parents, when they grow up knowing hood, being in the hood, they don't really want to carry it on, because assimilation. Just like when you're first generation American, your parents are wanting to assimilate quickly so that you don't have to go through what they went through. And I feel like that's kind of like, your parents want to remove you from that as much as possible. But that was a really good show. Check out Fight Night. Lord have mercy. Okay. Check out Fight Night on Peacock. Amazing show. Star-studded. I'm going to put up characters. And now on to the next show, which is Power. What is it called? It's a full thing.
Ghost Power Book 2.
Ghost Power Book 2. It's a spinoff of the original.
I wouldn't even say it's a spinoff. It's a continuation of a story.
Of what is it? Power? Yeah, Power. Because I know, I was like, was it originally called Ghost? The original one?
No, it's called Power.
Okay, so the original one was called Power, and this is Power Book 2 Ghost. And it's about Tyreek, which is the son of Ghost from the original series, and his now life. So this is supposedly the final chapter. And I do that with quotations because when it ended, it kind of seemed like it ended kind of like with a continuation possibly coming.
And the only reason why I say is, like I said, like I think it. I don't think they'll close it out. I think if anything, it'll be the last time on the stars. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Potentially because 50 Cent got his own network and stuff like that, where he
Oh
said,
yeah.
all of his shows will be on there. You know what I mean? So it's almost
Mm.
probably like, okay, yeah, we're going to close it all out. This is done. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
wow.
And then continue on. I think on another platform. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
yeah, because they did say with the economic downturn and stuff like that in studios, they said that's why a lot of shows had to end because with streaming, it's affecting pay. Like I guess since the strike
mm,
for the SAG and stuff, the contracts are different from what they were before. So they had to end certain shows, like I believe Rap Shit and some other shows, because it's like we can't, you know what I'm saying, continue to pay y'all what it used to be in the contractual SAG and Astra. So maybe that's one of the reasons. But either way,
also, like I said, I don't think that they thought that the audience was going to carry on the way that they was. You know what I'm saying? Because, like
mm,
I said, a lot of times, like everybody was thinking that with Ghost not being there, because they started out like that, like on the first season, people was
mm,
acting like it was good. They still did like the back and forth with Ghost things and stuff
yeah,
like that, but they didn't know that Tariq was going to be able to be a lead,
to
and
carry it.
yeah, because they felt whatever they felt about him. But I tell you this, I was saying this a few different times as I was watching the different seasons, but Lord Tariq, my niggas. Lord Tariq. Like you gotta put
Lord Tariq.
yeah, it ain't just Tariq. It ain't Lord Tariq and none of that. It's Lord Tariq. Yo, that man is a mastermind, you know what I'm saying? He up there with his father, if not beyond. He up there with what's the homie from Snowfall?
Oh
Franklin Saint,
man.
you know what I mean? Like the way my man be moving, he proved himself, you know what I'm saying? That you could see this being something that continue on after his college and boy life, because it's like, man, like to see how that all came together, like that last conversation when he was like getting that last plug
Mm,
with the Africans or whatever,
mm,
and he was just like, so basically you're gonna be a ghost. He was like,
mm,
and it was just like, man, that was just like cool as hell how it all came together. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So it's like to me, this was an awesome series, you know what I'm saying? Like the writers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who came together, the actors, you know what I mean? Like the characters, the way they drew them out, like the guy who played Bobby Brown and played Kane, like
Oh
man,
my
like
God, amazing
amazing
actor.
actor. You know what I mean? Diana, to see her evolution, amazing actor. Like
Wow.
you know what I mean?
Mary J. Blige
Mary J. Blige to be an icon and go out iconically in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
killed it.
Actually, like protecting her child and like man, it was amazing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To see all of that. You know what I mean? Like to have Mary J. Blige and Method Man, you know what I mean?
Method Man, like Mary and Method Man, I guess
And then have
because
them
we,
separated, you know what I mean? To
yeah,
where you don't see them as
man,
yo, like 50 Cent did an amazing job, you know what I'm saying?
amazing.
Creating opportunities for
Yeah.
the culture, you know what I mean? And pushing things forward. I'm just excited to see what he do with his studio in New Orleans and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And the possibilities of his networking and like I said, the ideas that he got and the power that he do possess to be able to create more stars, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like Michael Rainey Jr., like I've seen him on plenty of things, you know what I'm saying, like as a kid, like
Mm.
and then to see him go from like literally being a kid actor, you know what I'm saying, to what he is now. So it's like, man, like Bad News Bears to this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty cool, you know what I mean? Like that young man is top, you know what I mean, top billing, you know what I mean? So like I'm interested to see like if they bring like how they forward the story because like I said, like it's set up to where it's like the girl who played Lauren, what's her name? The girl who played Lauren.
Effie.
No, Lauren, the one who left.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? This is like it sets up to see like what happened 10 years down the line. But
Hold on, they showed Lauren at the end.
no, I'm just saying
Oh
she went out and it was
yeah,
like it wasn't on no bad note. Her and her
yeah,
family like left. She's
yeah,
alive. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm sure like at some point,
Yeah,
like
maybe.
similar to how it
Oh,
was with
like how it was with Ghost and
yeah.
oh my
You know what I'm saying?
God.
So it's just like to see like what the possibilities like Effie. You know what I mean? Where she was
Yeah,
at, she basically finding that she can't get out the game,
yeah.
which is very sad. You
Very
know what I'm
sad.
saying? Like Diana is now seeing that she don't want nothing else. but this.
Because now it's more so revenge. I feel like her heart is turned cold, and it's more
It's
so
like
like,
it's almost like yeah, like you said, too much. Like to go from her child being taken
yeah,
from it's like she lost too much. Her mother being
mhm,
taken.
mhm,
The game was keeping her from school. You know what I'm saying? All of a
mhm,
sudden it's like okay, now I'm willing to. She seemed now to me like she's more so like she wanted school and out the game so bad to where it's like now I feel like school is not even an option for her no
yeah.
more.
She
Feel
can't
like
even see herself in it no more.
yeah.
Um,
And then Drew, you know what I'm saying? Drew that's, leave and, go
yeah,
away for school. Like you said his character was pretty much forgettable, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I feel like he has some strong points, but I can't see a future for him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I'm
yeah,
trying to think about like but then again I could because he was like one of the most ruthless killers on there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
one of the most ruthless. Like for him to go into jail and do what he did, like how he did, he like ended up killing two motherfuckers and getting, actually leverage back for herself. And I'm interested to see like how much longer is Michael Ealy going to
That's what I was
be?
going. I was just about to
You
say,
know what I'm
what
saying?
ended up happening with Michael Ealy at the end?
He
I
got
forget.
bitched by Tariq. Tariq found the information that he needed to say like, nigga, I know that you killed
Oh,
Tate's. You know what I mean? Kamal.
oh,
You
he's
know what I
and
mean?
basically he's still alive
Yeah, he said,
though.
basically
Okay.
like,
Sometimes when I would watch Power, it would be so extreme. I would have to decompress for like 24 to 36 hours just to get the images of everything that happened. Like when Diana got beat to the point she lost her child, you know, people that you thought were forever characters getting killed. It would just be like, this is a
yeah, like a
lot.
lot out of nowhere.
It's a lot.
But that was power, you know what I mean? Like I encourage like,
I like it,
like it
but
was great, you know what I mean? But I
yeah.
think that people should go back and not only watch Power where it's at, you know what I'm saying, but go back and watch it from the beginning because I know like myself, like going back and watching Power from the beginning, like episode one, because
Hmm.
we was locked in from day
Yeah,
one,
from day
you know what I
one.
mean?
When
Like
people weren't watching it,
yeah,
we
we
were
was
already
already in,
watching it.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like we was watching it right after Boardwalk Empire, like
Yep.
Boardwalk Empire was ending and they was showing the
Yep.
previews and trailers for Power, and we like, thank God it's another show that we
Yeah.
gonna like, you know what I mean? So for us, we was like thankful to see
Yeah.
black people
Yeah.
in a gangster role that wasn't like even though they had Chalky White,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
From
and
Boardwalk
Dr.
Empire.
Narcisse, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, they kind of came a little later, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
wasn't like the main players, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to see 50 Cent come out with Power at the time and seeing like, Amari Hardwick, which I knew him from Next Day Air and stuff like that, like it was cool to see like what he was gonna do, you know what I mean?
He did a great job in that
Yeah.
role too.
But to go
I
back and watch it though, like if you
Yeah.
go back and watch it,
Oh, it's
like it's
very
a totally
much.
different show. Like for me, because it's like I said, when I was watching it just off of my initial excitement and just impulsively, a lot of the things I was more so agreeing with a lot of things that Ghost was doing in the beginning. And then
Oh
all of a
wow.
sudden, after like years had went by, and I
Mhm.
was like waiting for the new stuff to begin. I was like, let me go back and watch it. And I'm like seeing like some of the stuff that he was doing. My dynamics as a person that changed at the time. Like I went from being a single person,
Mhm.
not single, but us not having children.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? To having kids and start thinking about like different
Mhm.
decisions and stuff like that in a different kind of way versus just like as a man. You know what I mean? Wanting men to win. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it was like a lot of things that initially I was like seeing where he was coming from, and some of them I still do, but then ultimately it's just like, dude, like his character was so complex. He was all over the place and was expecting people to always move however he wanted to move when they wanted to move, and it's just like that's not realistic. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
ask, especially with Tasha, like she was initially the person, as you saying, like the person who was into school and all of these good things, and you took her out of that.
Tasha was.
Yeah,
Tasha always was hood.
no, Tasha didn't start off like that. Like
Oh.
Tasha initially was the good girl, and that's why he wanted Tasha to
Oh.
be his girl and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he did something to where she didn't snitch on him because he had the gun or whatever. He put it in
Oh.
her purse or whatever, and she didn't snitch. And all of a sudden,
Oh.
from there, she had became I'm gonna protect you under all means. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Okay.
like
Because the Tasha that I remember was the one where he was like, "I want to get out the game," and she was like,
that's what I'm
"No."
saying. That's what I'm saying. They showed that like then, but all of a sudden, if you like, that's what you'll remember off of the
Okay.
top. But if you go back and you watch, and all of a sudden she started talking about her life prior, like they have
Oh.
arguments and stuff like that. She's like, my life prior to this was this.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I moved for you in that kind of way. Then I'm not even thinking about the other side of life once I made that choice. And this
Mm.
is like, okay, yeah, I get that you're trying to transition. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's like that's why her and Tommy was not understanding Ghost if you go back and watch. You know what I'm saying? Like Tommy is Ghost's right hand man, but he
Yeah.
wasn't understanding why you trying to like get out the game and all this other kind of stuff when this is what you chose for. You know
But
what I'm
then I
saying?
say to that to say people evolve. That was the main issue I had with Tasha's character, is that she
It was
just
too
did
back and forth.
not even just that. To me, it seemed like from the point of where it was like he was saying he wanted to get out the game and she was like no. I was like, I don't know any mother that would not want the father of her child in a more safe,
Secure.
secure career. Because that's basically what it was. It's career. Like, so that was weird to me from the beginning. You know, as a woman, as a protector, as someone, even before having kids, it was just like, that's weird. I don't care how flashy the life is, but that's just me too. I've never been a materialistic type person.
But I think it was more so
So,
about the like how the story and the name of it was called Power. You know what I'm saying? So it was like she's seeing the dynamic of the power change and shift. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like from him trying to be legal versus the power he had not. You know what I mean?
mm,
So it's just like you trying to transition to be a legal person and stuff like that, and you losing all of your power to all of these
mm,
other things. And it's just like you already in her mind, you already the biggest boss that you could be. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So it's
I'm
just
the
like,
biggest boss. She
right,
was said that's Rick
I just feel like that's
Ross.
how she was. You know what I mean? This is like I'm not saying I agree with all of that. I'm just saying like some of the things that he was doing, like it was just like sketchy. Go back and I would just say
Mm.
anybody go back and watch it from the beginning to see if your opinions of the characters have evolved yourself as the characters evolve. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
I
it's
feel
a
like
good watch.
even with the Tyreek and Kane, I feel like when they explained Kane's character to me, when he explained it, I got it better. Because I kept trying to figure him out. Like I'm very much like I don't understand what, but he just seemed like he didn't care. Like I forget what he said in one episode, one of the last episodes. He was like, because Effie was talking to him about something, and he was like, I don't care. He was like, you think that everybody thinks that I want this, I want that. He was like, really, I just want to do this. I forget what he said
Yeah,
exactly.
basically they say trying to be the next Bumpy Johnson.
Exactly. And it was like, oh, okay, that's why you don't care about like trying to love people, you know what I'm saying? Hold together relationships and things like that. You genuinely are just trying to be a gangster. That's literally your ultimate, which when you're not about that life, you don't understand that. Because it's like, why would you want that? You know what I'm saying?
Because
And
again, what's it's called power. You know what I mean? So it's like they're showing like that's the drug of it all. Like
yeah,
no matter
see, and
what
that's
they
the
doing,
thing.
it's about everybody trying to gain and reach for power that nobody is fleeting. You know what I mean?
Everyone has their own thoughts of what power to them would be. Like for Effie, it was she wants to be able to be free to go to school, to have a normal existence because she comes from something that was not normal and that was toxic. Once you meet her
But
mom,
now, like now, we're saying like again, like inescapable for her almost because like once you get
she doesn't have
in,
anyone to turn to. Like her mom is trash. You know, Kane, who has her back fully, also is trash in the sense that he wants to stay in the game.
and like not really seeing another option. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
So it's like I feel bad for her because I feel like she is kind of like how Ghost was, where he's like, I want to get out. I want to have a normal family. I want to have a normal life. You know, I have big dreams in another aspect, but it's like she's kind of stuck. And then with Tyreek, I feel like he's almost like Kane too, where it's just like he kind of knows he's toxic. And it's like
I
at
mean,
this
I
point,
just think that once again, like they come from like Kane and Tariq the same. They come
yep,
from the same like they mother and father,
lines.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this is what the business is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where once again, like when you watching Tariq grow up with Ghost still alive and you like,
Hmm.
this little nigga need his ass whooped. This is almost like how you trying to really keep your son away from what you do. And he's literally got your DNA. So it's like any coming of age person, like after a while, we all know our parents lying about some shit. This is like stop lying to me. I know. You know what I
I
mean?
am
Like,
you. I
right. I
have birth
literally,
from
yeah, I
you.
literally am you. And this is like, that's the thing that,
I don't think people realize. I don't
yeah,
think
it's
people
like,
think like your DNA does a lot.
yeah, it
Like
does a lot.
it doesn't tie you to what you are,
But
but
it
it
kind of
definitely
helps, it kind of helps you be what you're going to be
what
or
you're
something.
capable. It
Yeah.
helps you know what you're capable of. It helps you know why you think a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
you move a certain way. But I also say it to say you can always remap because I don't want anybody to think like just because you were born into a circumstance, you have to stay in that circumstance.
No, but the one thing I'm pointing out about that is the fact that you born into a circumstance and his parents trying to remove them from that circumstance. But the reality is like if this is what they're saying that they are, and this is what they're saying that
They're continuing to do.
yeah,
It's almost like Cain and
it's
Abel,
like
where it's like, why do I continue to
yeah,
do
like why are you going to why are you so fighting against them
what
being
you're
who you
continuing to
are?
do?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like you have to remove yourself in order for you to even give your
give any
kids a chance.
headway. You got to be like you said
You have to
all the
fully
way out.
remove.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just like Ghost was, like I said, tiptoeing around things, like I said, thinking that the kid's not going to pick up on what's going on. After a while, things inevitably start happening to these grown ass kids growing up, and it's just like
because whatever you're doing is going to affect your
affect them,
kids.
and it's like you sitting up there lying now, and now you're putting them in even a worse
Yeah,
position because
because
they
they're
grown
not
up now.
aware.
Yeah, so it's like you've seen all the things that he went through growing up, not being aware, to where it's like we seen Tariq from that last episode, you know what I mean, to where he ended up used to be green, like getting drugged, you know what I mean, drinking lean,
God,
like not realizing that he was drinking lean, you know what I'm saying? To
Jesus, take the
like,
wheel.
it's crazy to see him go from this green kid, you know what I'm saying, to a mastermind, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, this is like, man, I would highly recommend like not only catch up on, what you missed recently, but even if you've seen all of the power before, just go back and try to like watch it all together, you know what I mean? Not in one day, obviously. If you got that time, that's
I
beautiful.
mean, it's
But
getting cold. People
yeah.
getting, they're gonna have extra time. So,
And then the
um,
last movie, let's like just talk about that Bad Boys too. I mean, I know it's an old
hold on, let me
movie.
check on the. Oh, we're on 18%. We probably got a couple more times.
All right, well, good.
We are going to come back to talk about Bad Boys 2 and Piece by Piece. I
You
want.
haven't watched it then.
We're gonna go see it. That's what I'm saying. We are gonna go see. Because I had an opportunity to go see it. Hopefully, I get another opportunity to go see a screening of other movies. If you're watching any of you networks, but we are gonna go see Piece by Piece to give a review on that. They say it's PG. We want to take the kids. Pharrell is very inspirational. I would love to see. I wanted to go see the screening that I was invited to, but I didn't have the time. Um, and Bad Boys 2, also very good, streaming on Netflix now. And what is the other one? I don't think that piano one is on there. They had the old piano lesson on there. But anyways, we're gonna close this out and we look forward to seeing you in our next podcast. Once again, I'm Nia Cheney. You can find me as Phenomenal Nia